Oh. Oh.
Also, ope, like saying the word ope without it accidentally coming, because I say it all the time when I like accidentally run into somebody or like, do something, it always comes out of my mouth, but just saying it, it's so wild how it doesn't sound like the same word. You know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Like when I'm accidentally dropping something, it's like, oh, and then when I actually say it, I'm like, oh. You know what I mean? Like,
when
I
it
don't
just
know.
naturally comes out.
Yeah, it like has a whole different sound to it than when I'm like reading it or saying it.
I don't think I even realized I was saying it until I started the Ope podcast. And now I'm like, oh my God, I say it so much.
Oh, I say it all the time.
Like just on like pure accident. So.
Are you from here?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was going to say like Midwest. It's just a Midwest thing.
Are you from Michigan?
I'm from Michigan, yeah.
Knew it.
Accent. Yeah, how do you remember that? Wait, my accent?
Yeah.
There's a Michigan versus Indiana
I did not
accent?
know that. Yeah. It's a little bit more old. A little bit old. So my family's from Wisconsin. So when I go, like it's a little bit Wisconsin and Michigan, I think, in my opinion, are a little bit different. I could not tell you why. I could just tell it was Michigan and not Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is slightly maybe more Canadian.
Yeah, I would say so.
But it's just like the note, like, and when I'm like hanging around my family, I start to sound like that, and then people think I'm from there, and I'm not. But
okay, like what kind of word? What's like an example?
I don't know. At one point, so I'm like saying, I don't know.
Oh no! Oh,
it's some words just like it came out more than others. I'll point it out.
Yeah, please do, because I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
and I've lived here for like 10 years, and nobody's been like, "Oh, you sound like you're from Michigan."
Oh,
like,
I had no clue unless you told me that, and I just didn't remember.
Huh.
But yeah,
cool.
But yeah, sorry, just going back to the relationship conversation. So I'm like trying to think of like how to like explain this. So you have been with your guy, you said you were saying like off camera for 10 years.
So this year we'll celebrate our 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So wait, you said you were 28?
Yes. So since I was a fresh adult, since I could buy cigarettes.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So I commend you for that personally, and I don't know like what your journey was like here, so maybe if you want to talk about it, like we definitely can get into it. But I was thinking about this, and like you specifically, and I've only met you 3 times, so maybe like I don't know you like super well, but I just feel like you have like such an identity of who you are just from like meeting you 3 times. And when I was younger dating, I just like completely lost myself in my partner. And it took me a really long time to realize that A, that's what I was doing. And then B, realize I'm like, it's so important to have your own identity. And I feel like I do this comes up a lot on the podcast, just like talking with people. But like, have you always been this way? Or was it a journey that you just did together? Or like, how did you do that? Because if you've been like this since you were 18, like, good for you. Because I think it's so important.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the first couple years of anybody dating is like very honeymoon.
Yeah.
It's not that you won't have a fight in 3 years, but I mean, it's just like everything's new and there's a lot of new experiences to be had and stuff. So I feel like maybe the first 3 years we were probably all like gushy and like maybe a lot more public affection type of thing.
Yeah.
I think eventually it's natural to like grow out of those things a bit, but other than that, we've always been like very different individuals. We've always had different hobbies, and like some hobbies being similar. So we met through soccer. We both played soccer at the same college.
Okay.
So we've always had that, and then and we don't play soccer anymore, but Zach's a gamer, so I'll play like Minecraft with him sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And we'll do that together. He'll watch movies with me because I love TV. Unpopular opinion, TV is a hobby.
Yes, I was just talking about this.
Hobby. Yeah, like I hate when people are like, "Oh, you watch so much TV," and I'm like, "Bruh, it's a fucking hobby."
People feel bad about it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I did nothing but watch TV," and I'm like, "Good for you."
Yeah, like if you read all day, what was that sweet? If you read all day, who would judge you? Nobody. But all of a sudden you're like listening to stories in a different format, and it's like a waste of time.
Yeah,
get off it.
Well, sometimes I think it's like a form of mental health too. Yeah. It's like just like doing nothing, like mind numbing. Like, this is what I got to do. Just lay here.
And I love having like TV shows and stuff. I like rewatch a ton. I mean, I've probably watched them all, so anything I'm watching is probably a rewatch.
What are your rewatches? Your main ones?
Oh, my main ones. Okay, Gilmore Girls.
I just rewatched this. Oh my god,
But
yes.
I didn't become a fan of Gilmore Girls until like 2 years ago, which is weird because most people it's because it's nostalgic. But now
Yeah.
I love watching it because it happened during the perfect time of like technology boost. Like they literally have an episode where they're talking about the new internet. Like internet was new. And I just find it so fun to watch now.
It's so like I was paying attention to their phones, how they kept changing, and like the TVs that they were referencing, and like the new plasmas, and like they were like, oh, we can't have a plasma.
Yeah, like it was like ridiculous to have a plasma in your house because they were just gigantic and like so I love it now because of just that stuff, but also obviously the characters. But One Tree Hill.
Okay, I haven't rewatched that. That would actually be interesting to rewatch. Because I was a fan.
You watched
I watched it when it came out.
Did you watch it all the way through ever?
I think.
It's one of the few that like all the way through is pretty solid.
I have a terrible memory, but I think so.
Would
I know? Is that something I should know?
Well, I don't want to say anything because if you're watching, like, if you haven't watched to a certain point, I don't want to ruin anything.
Okay.
But you should definitely watch it all the way through. And they have a podcast now where the three main girls are talking about it. And that's fun.
Yeah. I have seen clips of that and it seems like very interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
So you listen to the podcast too then?
Yeah, but I'll like just like binge it. So I'll just like not listen for a while and then I'll binge it. Because if I try to watch this show along with them and watch one episode a week, like,
yeah.
I don't do that.
Okay. Yeah.
But and then the only other one, I rewatch The Walking Dead every Halloween.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you said this. Thank you. It's my favorite show ever.
Yeah, like it's my favorite rewatch. I do it every year. It's the only one I do every year.
I think I probably watch it twice a year if I have to guess. I okay, so sorry. I know I asked you about your relationship, but we're breaking this down.
This is fine.
So
my relationship's kind of boring. It's been 10 years. We don't do much anymore.
So your identity what? It's the walking.
And I did watch an episode where you guys talked about it, and yes, it's just keeping your own identity and having hobbies. Okay, Walking Dead.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I some people would call me cheap, but I like to be smart with my money. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have been on my sister's account for Netflix for my entire Netflix journey.
Did you get kicked off?
Yes. I am so mad. And I tried getting around it for a while. I would just exit out and go back in, and they would like let me go in. I'm like, yes, I'm like cheating the system. Like, I'm so smart. No, I could only do that for so long. Then Omar, he went to Egypt for 2 months. He was busy literally all day long. He's like, just log into mine. So like before he left, he logged into mine. It didn't kick me out until it asked, is this like the home? Because I think it waits until 2 people are logged in, and then it gives you this random prompt, and like finally it kicked me to it. And I didn't want to say yes, even though he would have been fine and we would have figured it out, and he could have like figured it out once he got back. But I just like felt bad, so I was like, okay, I can be an adult and just get my own Netflix. So I got like the $6.99 or whatever it was, and then like so he started it because I told him, I'm like, to date me, you have to watch this show. Like,
yeah,
fair. I think about it every day.
I had a 3-month-long dream, like that literally every time I went to bed was if apocalypse happened in Fort Wayne, like if the zombie apocalypse happened. Okay, let's
talk about this too. But I have dreams about The Walking Dead, but it's more about Daryl.
Are you like a Daryl girly? Like you want to marry Daryl?
I don't know. But sorry, let me finish this. Let me go back to this. Sorry. Let's go back to both of those. So he started watching it. He didn't watch it at all while he was in Egypt, and then he came back, and like of course like the first day we're hanging out, we're watching The Walking Dead. And so we're here, and I try to pull it up, and the $6.99 version of The Walking Dead is locked. I about had a heart attack. I was like, what is this? So I'm like, and so it was this whole fiasco. Like we're getting it figured out. Like Omar just like added a person to his, and then it's easier that way. And I just canceled my subscription. So I was like, does not have enough shows.
Guys, I do have a workaround for this though.
Oh my god, what is it? Tell me this now. I needed
Buy
this
like
last
the $10 Chromecast plug-in for the side of your TV and stream it from your phone because it doesn't kick you off your phone. So you just stream it to the Chromecast from your phone. Now you can't stream it to a smart TV.
Yeah, that's what this is.
So my TV
I tried.
is a smart TV and it couldn't stream, but it will stream to my Chromecast.
So it like overrides the smart TV part,
Well,
or
the
like you have to
Chromecast is like a little plug-in. It just plugs in the back in your HDMI thing, and it just lights up. And it's like this. It was what you used to have to use before smart TVs, but we still had one left over.
Oh my god, this is
And
so
it works.
smart.
So if anybody has a Chromecast, you can still steal your Netflix.
This is so smart because I was for like a couple
Drama.
watching it on my phone like this, like propped up like on my ottoman. Like I was. That's how I finished Gilmore Girls.
Oh no, not the last episodes of Gilmore.
Yeah, I was like shit.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. Okay, but going back to Daryl.
Okay,
Wait,
so
who's your favorite character? Let's start there.
oh god, it's so hard because I feel like a lot of my favorites like died.
Yeah, and it changes and evolves.
Yeah. So Carl was definitely one of my favorites. I thought they wrote really well for like a kid going through the situation. Like I just thought it was really believable because he was just like such a butthead, but he was also like 12.
Yeah, he was,
and then he became a badass.
The biggest badass.
Like,
he got shot in the eye.
He got shot twice.
He got shot everywhere.
How
How did he not die? He's like a cat.
But like my favorite dynamic is totally Carol and Daryl.
Oh my god. Did you think at first that they were going to start hooking up?
No, because so the season that like is after her daughter and everything, and then the next season is the prison when they find the prison.
Yeah.
So at the very start, so at the very end of that season, you're like, are they gonna do this? Like, but there's really no indication. It's just he's being nice.
Yeah, it was kind of giving like mother-son vibes.
Yeah, and then the start of the next season in the prison, there's like a scene where she makes like a sexual joke to him, but it's like
rubbing her. He was like rubbing her like back or something.
Yeah, and then
that's where.
So, but the way they had it placed was like, okay, they're referencing the fact that like people are thinking this, but it's not going to happen because of how they made them react to it, like kind of thing. Like where he was like, stop, I'm going.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like her seeing if it was like a thing and then him being like, nah.
Yeah, I think it was showing that they were like totally platonic buddy that they could joke about it.
Like we're just like we love each other, but not like that.
Yeah. I think they wanted to set it up there.
That is my favorite duo.
It's just Carol. Oh, Carol has some of the most badass moments too, and I just think that
she's amazing.
That actress probably loved playing such a badass, like at her age.
Well, also too, like the way, like so whenever she's in danger, she plays like this really like honey homemaker. Even like when they went to like is it Alexandria? Sorry, I'm like forgetting this right now. Like Alexandria for the first time, like she like wore the button ups and like
played a role.
The polos. I just love like the dynamic of her. And then it's like bam, she's like the strongest person probably in the group.
Yeah, she just like I feel like that's like the definition of like how a woman would go about trying to like survive in like situations like this.
Right.
Be to like be a little manipulative, play innocent,
because
like
we're smart.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're just like not as big, so like you got to use your brain too.
Yeah,
like in a situation like this, there's no police officers coming to pick somebody up and take them away, so you got to like be a little.
Well, how many times do you like feed off of someone's energy in a situation to like? I mean, it kind of sounds bad, but like to get your way, or not like in like that sense, but like at a job interview or at work, it's like you kind of like play it up when you know you need to, like if you know in a presentation or you're like. Oh, I really love this topic that you're talking about when you actually hate it, you know? Like, I feel like women are just so good at that.
Like, extremely good. Like, too good. Sometimes, like, we don't even know what we like at some point. We're like, shit, did I actually enjoy that conversation? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Have you watched all the way to the end?
Yeah.
Do you like the ending? Like, do you like
I didn't love the last season.
You didn't?
I've only watched it once, so I'm wondering if I'll feel differently like watching it with Omar like for the second time. But yeah, how did you feel?
I liked the like end. I think there was like maybe only 1 or 1.5 seasons I was like about, but it was more towards like middle end than it was the very end. I thought like we kind of got it back on a track of like being really into the characters. Your hardest death, like the hardest one to watch.
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, I think Carl.
Yeah.
I still bawl my eyes out.
Oh, Rosita hit me at the end there.
I
Just her,
couldn't
like,
tell if it was
looking at her
like
baby.
I couldn't tell if that was just because it was. I knew it was like the ending.
It's like, oh, you
too.
almost made it.
Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
it, like because I do really love her, but yeah, like I think just like, you know, say like Carl, you know, like regular Carl.
I feel like,
And then Michonne too, like, and it like she was pretty much like his mom, and like, ugh, I sob every time.
I feel like that one hit me less hard because I liked that it was like just a pure like accident. Like it was just something, like it wasn't like everybody else is dead
was so
because somebody else
pure.
is stupid or attacking them, or no, it was just a pure like sometimes this happens in this world accident. And I felt like it was like a good end to Carl, considering he has been like shot twice and stuff. It's
Yeah,
like,
he was overdue.
yeah, what are they gonna do? Have him get shot a third time and that one
Right.
finally gets him? Like,
Yeah,
it had to have been a zombie.
they could have had him evolve like into like a man and had like a relationship. You
Yeah.
know, I would have loved that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think I cried a little bit more too, though, because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so pure, and I was like, "Oh my god, he was just doing a good deed." And then, like, "Oh my god, it was a doctor."
Well, but
I'm like,
Carl,
"Of course it is."
if you think about the Carl arc though, like I feel like they couldn't have taken it anymore if like without going negative. Like they got him to, he just kind of became that person that was like, we should all get along and do this and that and like be that person. So like to continue his arc into manhood, they would have had to go like negative. You know what I mean? First,
Yeah.
I feel like that didn't really work with like the character. Like I just don't know if they could have like kept making him interesting or if he would have just been like a side character.
Right.
I wonder if you can hear that.
I know. You were just like, for the listeners, I opened my door because it got a little hot in here. Classic. And you were like, is it quiet out there? I was like, yeah, it's like so quiet. And like this like car was just so loud, making like a
Like squealing. Like
squealing.
squeaking.
I couldn't like hear anything else that you were saying.
Oh shit, was it really that loud?
No, just because I couldn't stop listening. I was like,
you were like, shit.
squirrel.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Is there anything else that you want to discuss about The Walking Dead?
I feel like I could talk about this the whole time, but I don't know.
Because I have another show that I just rewatched. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
still Veronica Mars. Did you ever watch that?
No. What's that?
It's Kristen Bell's like what I think it's her like first, like that's the show. She was the main character of a show back in the day.
Oh.
And before she was famous.
So it's like an older show?
I mean it's not that old because Kristen Bell's not old. It's like what time period? What else is like what other shows? I don't know. I feel like it's like right before One Tree Hill. Like it's like just like that a little bit older than One Tree Hill. Like it's not that old.
Okay, but kinda.
Yeah. I mean it's like within our generation, but it was probably maybe like 2 years like older than if we would have jumped into it. It also got canceled after the third season, and they like brought like a year, 2 or 3 years ago. They made a fourth season of them all be the main characters being older.
Oh damn!
Which makes it 10 times better too.
It was because a lot of I didn't like Gilmore Girls. The reunion.
Oh no!
That was terrible.
This is like the best. Like bring them all back.
Okay, what is it kind of like about without like giving too much away?
So this is gonna sound super cheesy. So Veronica, this is all in the first episode. So her best friend gets murdered. She's in high school.
Okay.
Her dad was the sheriff of the police department in their town, in Neptune, California or something.
Okay.
And so her dad thinks it was her best friend's dad who killed her. And it like outraged everybody, and so he lost his job and became a private detective.
Dang.
And she like lost all of her friends, and she helps like her dad at the private detective agency because they're like not doing well money wise when he lost his job. So she's just like this little like she's really snarky and just like rude to everybody, but in the funniest way that only Kristen Bell can play.
Right.
And she's a detective, and they're still kind of trying to solve that crime of like what really happened to her best friend. No, like in the first 2 seasons of
Okay.
the show. And then yeah, it was a bummer that it got canceled after the third because it literally, you can tell it got canceled because it ends like there's going to be another season and then there just
That's the
isn't.
worst.
It's so, and especially with a show that was actually so good.
Right.
Like, but
Did you like look into it? Like, why did they cancel it?
it just not enough viewership. I think around that time there was a lot of shows getting like canceled early for like little shows like that.
Okay.
I don't really know, like on the sea and stuff.
Or maybe it was like saturated or something.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that she started that young.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she seems pretty young. She seems like herself was even in high school when she was playing in it,
Right.
or she's kind of a small person, so maybe she was in her early
Yeah.
20s. But
What streaming platform?
Hulu.
Oh, okay.
Hulu.
Okay.
It's so good, and it's so good because they made that 4th season later on.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
It kills you,
Add it to my
man.
list.
Yeah,
I'm currently rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I've never watched it.
Okay, so I don't know. Now that I'm watching it right now, first of all, the like Buffy's kind of like a style icon, and I didn't realize that back in the day because I watched it. It was my favorite show growing up, which is kind of like scary that was my favorite show because I was young in elementary
Yeah.
school.
Isn't it like a very adult show?
Yeah, I had no rules though, so
Oh.
like
Fair enough.
that and Charmed were like my favorites, and that was kind of
Mm-hmm.
along
Charmed
the
is
same lines.
good.
It is good. It is good.
But that got canceled too, didn't it?
There's a lot of seasons.
Oh, maybe not. I'm thinking of something else.
So I'm like trying to think of the
Thinking
ending.
of Witches of West End, I think.
Maybe. I've never heard of that though, but
It got canceled.
okay. But it's like, so it's on Hulu, but you can tell it's a very much older show.
That's why I haven't started it, because I'm like, is this something where you have to be nostalgic to really enjoy it?
I don't know.
Can you enjoy it
I
as
don't
like a
know.
new watcher now?
Yeah, I have no clue. If you do try it, like keep me posted.
Okay, well.
Because it's like, I don't know, it's the humor's good and it's just so funny. Like, I know that you haven't seen it, so I won't talk too much about it, but like one of the boys, like Xander in the show, he was always kind of like the best friend that no one wanted to date. And I'm like watching it, like texting my sister, I'm like, why did we like think he was weird? I'm like think Xander's hot.
Yeah.
Like, he's cute and funny, like that's like the perfect man. I'm like, why did no one like him?
That's so funny.
So, but it is pretty like hard to watch, like just like visually.
Yeah,
And I'm like
that's what stops
wondering,
me every time.
I think I'm like on the 3rd season, so I'm kind of wondering if it will get better eventually, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't Gilmore Girls go from like a square screen to like a rectangle screen like during it?
If it did, I didn't notice.
I think it does.
I
don't know.
But it's visually worse than that, so like a little bit more
Buffy's
grainy.
worse than Gilmore? Okay.
Yeah. But I like it, but I'm always like, I like the witchy stuff and the woo-woo.
Me too.
I'm so into it.
I love witchy stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so like along the lines of like TV shows and movies, I did want to ask you if you've seen Saltburn.
Not yet. Is it worth
I was so hoping you had.
I've been thinking about doing it. Me and Zach were actually thinking about watching a movie tonight, so that might be it.
I screwed up your plans.
Or
you doing it later?
No, yeah, later.
Oh,
like,
okay.
way later, just whenever I get home.
Oh, okay. I think, okay, so I'm not going to give it away since it's like on your list.
I've seen the trailers and stuff, so.
Okay.
So you won't give anything away that's like.
If I start saying too much, can you let me know? But I do want to like say this like take on like the episode, even though I feel like it's old news at this point, but I feel like people are still watching it and talking about it. It's like my whole personality right now. Definitely watch it. I think it's polarizing either way. If you hate it or if you love it, it's something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But my take on it, and I hope that you've seen people talk about it, right? So,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so this won't give anything away. My take on it is that the reason the people hate it is because it makes them feel like a certain type of way. Like, I think everyone kind of has like these inhibitions or like maybe like fantasies, but maybe like they don't even want to do them, but like find it like attractive or sexy or like it turns them on.
Oh yeah.
And they're
dark fantasy is a genre.
Yeah, and they're afraid to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after watching this, like there's like the joke is like there's people that like masturbate afterwards, and then there's people that like are completely grossed out by it.
Like taking showers after.
Yeah, they're like, how does anyone think this is good? Like, which, that was my boyfriend's take. And I've like been challenging him on this. But like,
I'm so excited now. Oh my
but
god.
I think it just like you like feel weird things, and like it seems like you're not supposed to like it, but then you're like, ooh, I find a little bit
I
spicy.
love stuff like that.
I know, and I'm like, and I will fully. I wish like you had watched it, 'cause, like I would like actually say like which parts like.
Okay, well, if I come on again, I'll have watched it. We can talk about it.
Seriously, but like if you do watch it though, text me afterwards and tell me what you think.
Okay, well.
If you think this take is wrong, but I just think it like weirdly like makes people think. And I also loved it because like there's male nudity.
Oh yeah.
Like more male nudity than like female, and it's like when do we ever see that?
Shows are starting to do that now, and it's nice because like guys would be like, I don't want to see that, and it's like, bro, we watch shows all the time.
Yes, exactly.
With women's naked bodies. Enough, stop it.
All the time, even for no reason. It seems like they just want to throw like boobs in there.
There's just like a girl with a shirt off, like just walking behind the main characters, like way far in the background. Like you're just like, okay,
just to show boobs.
Yeah.
I have like this girlfriend who she'll like let me know anytime she watches a show that has penises in it, because she's like, so like she'll intentionally watch it if she hears about it.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Just to, like, even the playing field. She's like, this has dicks, we're watching it.
Zach's not bothered by it at all. He never really like has a comment about it.
Yeah,
it's more about like if it like matters to the show, then like who cares.
I like, so Omar's take is that he's like, he feels like it was pointless,
like an unnecessary,
and like here I am, I like have created this like whole like reason behind it. It's like, okay, like maybe like, but I feel like there's a deeper meaning.
I'll either send you like the eggplant or the shower head emoji when I'm done. You'll know how I feel about it.
I like sorry, I don't know how much like you're comfortable with, but I did see someone say like, oh, like the guys, they're like, oh, this was disgusting, but like you're welcome, like, because like if you watched it with a girlfriend, they're like, they're like ready to like get it on after.
I'm gonna go home and be like, Zach, ready for a date night?
Hope you showered.
He'll like listen to this later on and be like, did you really have us watch this after talking about it?
But
yeah.
You're like, but you got laid.
But you know what? You're welcome.
Alrighty. Well, that's like really, I don't know. I had a couple other things I feel like that we could just talk about that are more just like things that are on my mind. I don't know if you wanted to talk about it. I can always cut it out.
No, it's fine.
I was gonna say, like, have you ever done therapy?
No. I mean, not really. I did like a free one at the college a couple times, but like, no, not really.
Yeah.
I don't even count it.
So I had, like for the listeners, I had on Madison Eshelman, this girl. She technically doesn't call herself a therapist. Like she is going through school, but she does like a lot of like inner childhood work. I think that's how she would describe it.
Yeah.
And like deep trauma work through like meditation and stuff. And I started it, and I could just kind of call it therapy, which is why I was asking.
Yeah, no, that sounds really cool. I've always wanted to, but I've always heard, like, I've had a lot of friends who are like, I just can't find a therapist. I don't think I want a therapist that just listens, because I can like talk my own ear off, literally.
Yeah. That's that's why I did it. I was like, this is why I have to do this.
Yeah, I want somebody who's like answering me and like talking me through it. And not just like
I tried doing therapy like several years ago, like maybe I was like 25, 26, and I felt like I could have therapized her just based on like the interactions. I'm like, I'm getting absolutely nothing from this.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's just so expensive to like to have to jump around to like so many different people to find the right one. It's just,
well, it was like re-traumatizing to me because like it's like, why are you here? It's like, okay, where do we start? And then to have to like do that again, it's like, oh.
Exactly. Yeah, what a pain.
But yeah, I just like wanted to like, I do probably think I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth, probably maybe on a solo episode, the emo one.
Well, you know, if she is doing it, I would love to check it out, because that sounds like really cool.
It's tough. like I've been going through it. That's what I kind of the point I was gonna bring up. Like I don't know like your personal situation or whatever, but like I've been through some stuff and it's hard.
Yeah.
And I think it's crazy because I'm glad I'm doing it with this type of work with her, because like you were saying, you don't really want to just talk about things, because I can talk about it until I'm blue in the face, but it's not really doing anything for me.
Right.
But I think because, and anyone that's been like an OG, I always talk about how I'm like so healed, I'm like such a healed, I'm in a healing era. And then I had Madison come on the podcast and we talked about what she does. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, shit.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like literally like FML. I was like, I have to do something, because I realized what I think I was doing is just getting older through podcasts and stuff. I've learned like coping skills.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned really how to like cope and like live a semi-normal life for the most part.
Right.
But everything like I had pushed down. So like this is like bringing everything up. It's intense.
I really want to do this so bad.
I can give you her information.
Give me
I know.
info.
I'm like, I was telling her, I was like, yeah, I've been like talking about you like a lot lately to like everyone.
No, and like stuff like that is so interesting and so cool, especially for like anybody who doesn't want to necessarily go like the traditional like route.
Yeah.
Of
Well, and like what she says, like so it comes with like a course, and so like you kind of learn about the brain and like why we do what we do, and then it's like I like learned just from like week 1 of working with her that I didn't even realize how much anxiety I'm holding in my body, because like she kind of makes you like aware of it.
Wait, this seems really so just interesting as hell. Like it seems like something where you can take the information you learn and like actually
homework. That's what I call it. I'm doing my homework tonight. Her course.
Oh, that's so
cool. Because like I
cool.
need that. I'm very like action oriented. So and then it's like homework, and then like you work with her for like 15 minutes. But I like, it's so weird. I've always heard this and I like didn't even think about it, but I had like really bad neck pain and like kind of like went into my back, and I've heard that like you can store trauma like in your body and your back specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so bad before I started working with her. Like, and I was like, oh, like I've always seen, not always, but I've gone to like a chiropractor and stuff. So like I do know like I have bad posture and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like trying to do my stretches. Nothing was working. I was like incorporating my exercises again because I'm 80. None of this is working. None of it. And then I started working with her, and it's like a release, because like you're letting go of all of these things and kind of like, I'm going to butcher it, but it's like you're kind of like retraining your neural pathways and like expanding your capacity to like have these emotions.
Yeah, I mean that's totally a thing. I mean, I know people who had to get like they will sometimes use like electricity to like get your like certain parts of your brain to start powering up again, basically.
Right.
I mean, I don't know the medical terms.
Yeah,
anything, but
I know.
like
Me trying to re-explain it.
yeah, you like suppress certain emotions for so long that part of your brain stops functioning. Like if you've ever watched like any kind of show, like and they're scanning the brain, there's like each pathway is like created with electricity in your brain, you know, and if it's not used, it dies.
I'm also like reading the body. By reading, I'm listening to it on audio because it's rather boring sometimes, but the body keeps a score. And like I just got to the part where they were saying that they did. Are you hungry?
No, my stomach just growled. Sorry.
It's okay. They were doing an MRI and they like talked about like one of their most traumatic events, and the part of the brain that like was lighting up was not like the memory part. It was like as if it was actually happening during that moment. So it's just crazy how everything works. I also recommend reading the book, even though I'm not completely done. But like I haven't since it's been 4 weeks. I've met her with her 4 times. I don't have any more neck pain. It's so weird.
I really want to do this. Okay, so we have a list for next time. What's the show again?
Buffy? Or was it Buffy? No.
Buffy?
Oh, Saltburn.
Is that a show or a movie? Oh, is that a show or a movie?
Saltburn's a movie.
Okay, yeah. So movie, show, and now also I'm gonna start this therapy.
And we should go to the psychic.
Yes, and you need to watch Veronica Mars.
Oh yeah. Okay. We have a whole list. We have homework.
No, that sounds really cool. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And it just sounds educational. I like that she's like going into how your brain works and stuff. Like, yeah, that's awesome.
I had like every intention of like being like, okay, if this, because I know like if you hear like she's not like credentialed, which she is going to get it just so people feel more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt super comfortable after interviewing her for 2 hours, you know, so I was like totally fine with it. But I was like, if I'm doing the work and it seems more harmful than good, or like I'm not getting anything out of it, like I was like, I'll give it a chance. Let's see. And I'm just like convinced. I'm like, this is like amazing work that she's doing. So I'm just like a huge proponent of it. I'm like,
credentials are just like,
I know.
I would rather take recommendations than credentials any day of the week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I did ask you to come with an Ope story. I feel like I haven't done one in so long because sometimes like I don't know, like some people don't want to do them. They're like, I can't think of anything or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely picked something that's not like overly embarrassing. It's not even embarrassing. It's just so funny. And it's such a Midwest, like dumb kid thing to do.
Yeah.
So I think it's just wholesome. So I have like a close group of 5 girls. Me and the 5 girls make 6. And we did everything together in high school.
Yep.
So
I was that way.
Remember when Ghost Riding the Whip came back into the scene
Yes.
in videos? So of course we were like, let's take my car and go on this back road and Ghost Ride the Whip. Like, and we weren't even recording. Like, this is just for our own entertainment. We never recorded a single thing. It was everything we did in high school purely for our own entertainment.
Oh my God.
I don't know why. So mind you, there is 6 of us crammed into, I had a G6 at the time. So the car's rolling, right? And we're like, all right, ditch out, turn up the music and ditch out. So like we all start ditching out one by one. Well, my friend Morgan's the last one to ditch out. She's like squeezing the back in the middle, right? And I'm over here on the driver's side and she gets out over here. And I just hear a boom, ow!
Did you run her over?
Well, all of us are out of the car, so my car ran her over. I did not. Okay, first of all. I think when she got out, she wasn't like, she didn't really have it placed like the speed of the car versus her feet, and I think she tried to hold onto the doors. And so she's laying there with her leg, like just screaming, ow.
Did it get crushed?
And we're all standing there just like, Morgan, are you okay?
Did it crush her leg?
No, but we all look up and my car's still rolling and nobody's running like next to my car at this point because we all stopped worrying about Morgan. My friend Tori sprints up and like jumps in the side of my car, rips the whole like inner lining of like to try and stop my car. She has my car stopped.
Where was it going? Like into a tree, into like a pond, like
Dude,
down the road?
That road did end into somebody's house, so we definitely needed to stop it at some point. So the funniest part is that like her leg was not crushed, but she had the funniest bruise of an exact tread mark.
No,
like it was like bruised and like a total tread mark, like layout on her leg. And she was like a track star and they had a track meet. I don't think she did very good at it. I can't remember, but
she still ran.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I would have thought it would have for sure crushed her leg. How did that not happen?
It was going real slow, and
yeah, it's even worse. Like
I don't know. I don't know. But even funnier is like my little sister. So my little sister's 4 years younger, so she's in middle school or even like late elementary at this time. And she remembers this because she's at the house and we all come running in and grabbing stuff. And I can't remember what we were grabbing. I don't know if we were grabbing stuff to help Morgan's leg.
Were you trying to hide it?
Stuff. No, we're yelling, we ran over Morgan. And we're grabbing a bunch of shit and then just left. And Perry's standing there and she's like, is Morgan okay? What just happened? Like, Darby just ran in here saying they ran over her.
How traumatizing. Like, she has PTSD. She thought you killed your friend.
Dude, yeah, she remembers it to this day of being like, I was so stressed out. And then I was trying to call you and you weren't answering. And I was trying to get Morgan to her parents.
We were ghost riding the whip. Sorry, we were busy.
God, and what if we would have recorded that? That would have lived on
to
forever.
see her get ran over and to see how. It was probably so dumb.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, she's tall and lanky. I think maybe she just...
Also, think about like how much worse that could have been. Like if it was like her foot and if it went the wrong way.
Yeah, I think because I think it was like on the outside if I remember. So I think she like fell. So it like her leg wasn't like, it was getting pushed down, but it wasn't being like tweaked like the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know.
Makes sense.
I don't know. But yeah, that's my like, oh.
You're like, yeah, I have a really wholesome Ope story.
Well, it's like it doesn't involve like drugs or sex
I
or
was like-
anything. It's just kids being
like-
stupid.
I was ready for like prepared for this friend to like die.
No, she has a prosthetic.
She lost her leg.
Oh. Oh my god.
Hee hee.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. I loved this so much. Do you want people? I know you don't really have your main Instagram, but do you want people to follow like your painting Instagram or?
Oh, sure. Actually, you can tag it on there too if you
Okay.
want, because I use it. Like that's how I connect to people, anyways.
Okay.
But it's called My Mind Wanders on Instagram.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Everyone can follow the Ope Pod on Instagram. You can follow me at Abby McCarville. And if you didn't know, I do have this on YouTube. Thanks.
Oh.